always space for more. Well, welcome. Now, I've got something here in this jar. I think some of you will be able to guess what's in there. And then I'm going to talk about these little critters that are in there. They are quite small. Can you see them? Can you see? Yes, that's right. And these are very small tadpoles because do tadpoles grow? Yes, they do. And there's another name also for tadpoles. They're classed under this. What are they classed under? Amphibians, that's right. And do you know what amphibian means? It's in Greek, yes? Okay, yes, they are very slimy. I agree, and they're very hard to catch. Yes, and that's amphibian, and the Greek it's double life actually means because, like Carissa said, they live in water and on land. So they have a very interesting cycle. That's what they look like, not right at the beginning. I've got a picture here. So first they start out as eggs, okay? So they've already got a little bit of a tail, right? So that's why they call them tadpoles. And they look a little bit like fish, don't they? Well, maybe not at the moment. But if you come next week, especially those who are in the primary class, if you come for Sabbath school, I'm going to be taking it for the primary, and I'm going to bring you some that have grown. Okay, so I'm showing you them at this stage, okay? They're only a few days old. So here we have them, tadpoles. And then tadpoles grow little legs. They get the back legs first, and then they get the front ones, and then that tail eventually disappears. And what do they become? A frog. Okay, that's correct. How did I catch them? Oh, Uncle Rian, you know, he's my helper, and he found this net that we had kept because we thought we might use it sometime, and I caught them with the net. I saw them and I thought, that doesn't look like weeds or plants, and I quickly dipped it in and I caught them that way. So anyway, I want to show you something else. You know, the tadpoles are very much like babies. When you were little, you really slept a lot and you didn't do much. It's only when the water moves that they move around. You can see the little tail be squiggling. Can you see this one? Oh, they're all moving, yes. But normally they just hang there, and I don't know if they're sleeping or what, but it just reminded me of babies because when you're little, you sleep a lot, okay? They just hang on the side. What they do is they hang on also the leaves of plants or the stems of plants, and then they eat the algae off there. So these little tadpoles eventually become frogs, and we call this stage, who knows what the whole cycle, yes, the whole life cycle, what do we call it? Yes? Okay, it's a big word. Metamorphosis, okay, because we've also got the monarch butterfly that also goes through, oh, lovely, and it goes through metamorphosis. So that means they can change really very differently. So they start out looking like that, first eggs and then that, and then they turn out to be this. And do you know, do they look different from that? Yes, they do. They look totally different. And you know that in the wild you can actually get a real one this size. Did you know that? Uncle Rian's caught one, and it was just a little bit smaller than this. But you don't get them here in New Zealand. This was in South Africa. So they can grow as big as this. That's 30 centimeters. That's, you know, you've got a ruler, you use a ruler for school. Well, they can get that big, and that's a bullfrog. You get many different kinds. But what I want to remind you, you know, these tadpoles and frogs, they remind me of the Christian life. You know, we might start out like this, and then we become totally different. In other words, that's how we're supposed to become, isn't it right? We change, and you know, they even eat different food. So when we are Christians and we follow Jesus and ask him to come into our heart, we should change. We shouldn't stay the same like that tadpole. And the tadpole doesn't. He listens to the laws of nature, doesn't he? He becomes a frog. And so we must also listen to God's laws, and we become different too. And then we can be very useful. Yes? No, I don't think so. I don't think I got any eggs. I would have liked to. So remember, when we ask Jesus to come into our hearts, we become different. We should change, okay? And you're going to hear more in the sermon. And remember, if you want to see the tadpoles growing bigger from tiny and much bigger with legs, come at about 9:30, okay? We have Sabbath school, and then we have the kids' class. Thank you very much. You may go back to your seats.